nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. So maybe for 2022, we'd be a bit nicer, a bit more self-reflective. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. Nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn. Peace.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and G4TV is officially done. A leaked memo last night was, in fact, the way that most of their employees, I'm told, actually found out that they had been fired. Completely unprofessional, and say what you want about the network. This looks very, very scummy for Comcast and David Scott and everyone involved. We all know that, the network had an extraordinarily uphill battle to try and monetize and survive in an era of shorts and TikTok and things of that nature. And we knew that the minute Frosk decided she wanted to be a wild card and go after their viewers, that they had no chance whatsoever. Well, I've spoken to several employees. I've gotten their statements. I've also got some more information to share with you about exactly how we ended up here. And I'll start by Wario64, really the person that broke it. Last night, G4TV shuts down just a year after its relaunch. I suppose Deadline broke it, but the tweet is how people actually found out. Here's the memo from the Comcast CEO team. As you know, G4 was reintroduced last year to tap into the popularity of gaming. We invested to create a new G4 as an online and TV destination for fans to be entertained, be inspired, and connect with gaming content. Over the past several months, we worked hard to generate interest in G4, but viewership is low. The network has not achieved sustainable financial results. This is certainly not what we'd hoped for, and as a result, we have made the very difficult decision to discontinue G4's operations effective immediately. Let me talk a little bit about why Dave Scott is a garbage leader and a garbage CEO, okay? I've talked about this given my history. Like, a lot of people see me as like a YouTuber, but I'm actually, I cut my teeth in the corporate world. I worked for an internet incubator, which meaning we had maybe 24 different internet companies. I had as many as 50 people working for me. I've gone through layoffs. I've fired. I've done it all. And it was a previous lifetime. But one of the biggest learning experiences I ever had was doing a layoff. And the most valuable lesson I got from my CEO at the time was, you cut once, you cut deep. And it hurts, but the healing can begin and the morale can start to recover, and it's the only really way to survive. What they did at G4 was cut like 20 times. First, they did like this random layoff. Then like a couple weeks later, they did another layoff. Then they didn't air something. It's like they have, and I suppose after this video, I'll probably hear from more people, but it's like their leadership had no idea how to run a company. None. You couldn't have had more inept leadership, and I've got more information about that, to fill out that story or fill out that claim. They write, I know this is disappointing news, and I'm disappointed too. Yeah, you and your 6-figure salary, that is going to be totally fine anyway. And I want to thank you for everyone in G4 team, hard work, commitment to the network. Our human resources team is reaching out to you to provide you with support, discuss other opportunities that may be available, and answer any questions you may have. Thank you all again for your hard work at G4. And you see the top comment here, Jared the completionist, who was on G4. Hey, this tweet is how I found out I lost my job. How neat. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I had sources tell me that he had put in some sort of notice, so he had known like a week ago. But I mean, I have no reason not to believe him. Even if that wasn't true, like why do they put this out to deadline before actually telling your employees? It's absolutely sick. You know, it's just bad. You see Todd here writing, hugely talented people poured their hearts, talent, and hard work into G4. Reach out to them and get them hired. Hey, I mean, there are people there that I would love to bring onto my team here, but I don't think I'm the type of guy that they'd want to work with, apparently. They have obviously the original article. Comcast pulls the plug on G4TV, ending comeback try for gamer-focused network. They printed this on a Sunday afternoon. Like, what the frick? I mean, this is like just terrible, terrible leadership. Now, they did tell us not to watch it. And so that's, of course, what would happen. But interestingly, there's more information on this. And then, of course, there's the get woke, go broke, still attacking fans. We'll get to that, too. This is a huge story. By the way, if you haven't yet, please do leave a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button down below. As I'm sure there'll be more information coming out, especially now that I've generated some contacts with people that work there. But anyway, here's Nathan, give good reviews for BJ's Grayson. Bigger story on why G4 failed coming soon, but for now, a major theme. Failure to acclimate to the YouTube/Twitch era despite desperation to fit in. Former employee tells me some major content creators charge day rates of $25,000 to $30,000 just to show up. I assume that means like people like Amaranth or something. We've got a big story about her actually coming up next. But like, you know, after mass layoffs, less than a year after its return, Comcast Video Game-Centric Television and Online Network G4 is shutting down, according to a report from Deadline, citing an internal email from Comcast Spectator CEO Dave Scott. While G4 has struggled throughout 2022, the shutdown itself was sudden. The Washington Post viewed another email sent Sunday from G4 head Joe Marsh to employees that informed the staff that G4's Los Angeles facility would be closed until October 18th, and that all streams were postponed. But that email did not mention the network's shutdown. Additionally, so you had different lines, different people sending different emails. That's great leadership. Additionally, former G4 employees who requested anonymity due to the signing of NDAs told the Post that staff were locked out of internal communication services like Slack and Google Drive without any kind of explanation. This came after crew from Arena, a show produced as part of a crucial deal with WWE, quit last week, according to ex-employees. G4's Comcast attempt at reviving the network from the early 2000s that imagined what televised video game coverage and entertainment could look like. Expenditures for talent appear to have played a role in the closure. According to multiple G4 employees, the Post, some high-profile creators demanded day rates of $25,000 to $30,000 when invited to appear as guests on G4. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. That's probably a fair rate. You talk about somebody like, Amaranth, who could stream and make $10,000, $15,000 a day or something like that to fly and then essentially take their fans and promote that network. That price doesn't seem out of control to me. I mean, it seems unsustainable and G4 should never have paid that. But if you told me that somebody with millions of subscribers got flown in and basically essentially paid to promote G4, that doesn't really seem like a crazy high number. Several events presaged G4's demise. The nosedive that culminated Sunday began with the president, Russell Aarons, exited at the end of August. In September, G4 laid off more than 20 people, many of whom worked on shows like Game Review and Commentary flagship X-Play. A week later, Kotaku reported that the revived G4's most prominent faces, X-Play host Indiana Froskurin, was no longer with the company. Later that same month, Kevin Pereira, one of the biggest names, left. In Sunday's memo, he expressed his regrets. I mean, bro, it's your fault. I talked about this. Anybody with any business sense, okay, could look at this production and tell you that there's no way that they were making enough money to sustain this. Huge productions and very little viewership. And even if, and I said this before, even if you didn't have, Frost, torpedoing the network, there's no way it was going to survive. It just didn't have the viewership. But then, of course, you've got, let's say we'll get into so now we've got Adam Sussler responding by changing his bio. Still woke, not broke. Well, I'm glad you got money. I mean, that's always a good look, right? Like, ha ha ha, I'm fine. Gina Darling, by the way, I got a comment from her directly. I'll just read it for you verbatim because that's the fair thing to do. I asked her, I basically said, hey, saw the news. What a crummy way to close down. Layoffs. Then they just closed 2 weeks later without telling anybody. Like, that's kind of crappy. And then she wrote, just telling people that today some of the best people I've ever met are heartbroken, regardless of what one person said or did. Assuming she's referring to Frost there, but I can't put words in her mouth. It wasn't the fault of those who had no idea it was going to happen. The rest of us put our heart into this, and now a lot of people are struggling through it. These are the best people I've ever had the honor of working with, just a bunch of nerdy kids who wanted to play games and spread the love of games. I hope Gina does land on her feet. I mean, I certainly think that, of all the people that, that had like, haters, people that didn't like them, she didn't seem to have any. She seems pretty like a spicy meatball on Twitter. I think I'd get along with her. But I'm sure she'll find work. Otherwise, she could come do videos for my channel for sure. Then this guy, my time at G4 ends during lunchtime on Sunday, which the best, especially for full-time workers and friends. I wish the best. Unfortunate that this will be tied to right-wing incels complaining about wokeness being the downfall of the network, which pursued content in the age of shorts and Twitch. Sorry, you're whining about not being able to compete against shorts and Twitch. You just do what anybody else would do, right? You have all this great long-form content. You have an intern that works for, a reasonable rate. All they do all day is chop your content up into shorts. I mean, what kind of idiot wouldn't have done that? That's like so simple. And then you're like, well, we could never have done that. We only had 60 employees. How could we have made shorts? Get out of here. I make 3 a day. I don't like making them, but they help new people find the channel, which is why I do them. Anyway, by the way, it isn't wokeness that killed a failing millennial-focused game network. Oh, okay, so now yeah, right. You never had a chance, yeah. So keep your incel complaints on how the internet is soft to your 2012 Gamergate era. We do not care about you being bigoted in a COD lobby in 2011. You're crying about humans being normal. That's some cope. There's going to be a lot more that comes out around this, but it was doomed to fail with the amount of overhead that they took on in the beginning. Anybody could have seen that. I don't blame the employees for taking a job, but when you then go and you have an employee, it sounds like people are saying she went rogue. Through a couple people I've heard, that certainly accelerated things for them, and they probably didn't have enough time, to grow after that. Well, best of luck to the non-insane people that worked there. Feel free to email me. I know enough people. I could probably help you find some opportunities. Happy to have you on the show if you want to talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it and you click that subscribe button down below so you get all the latest updates. We'll talk to you again real soon.